The unveiling of the Siemens Mobility, Inspiro South Africa, new tube for South Africa marked the beginning of a bold new era in transportation for the nation, a future where design, innovation, comfort, and sustainability merge to create a symbol of progress unlike anything seen before on the continent, and this magnificent train, with its futuristic shape, cutting-edge engineering, and stunning presentation in a luxury showroom surrounded by South Africa's most influential figures, quickly became more than just a mode of transport. It became a beacon of national pride, a symbol that South Africa was not only embracing 21st century technology but leading it in style. And when the gleaming carriages, polished in their original bright red, blue, and white livery, rolled into the exhibition space, the entire audience was captured by its commanding presence, a presence that reflected strength, elegance, and progress at the same time, because the Inspiro South Africa was not designed merely to carry passengers from one station to another. It was built to redefine the way South Africans experience travel, blending heritage with modernity and setting a new benchmark for all rail projects to follow. And the ceremony itself was described as a once-in-a-lifetime spectacle where the nation's artists, leaders, and innovators gathered under shining lights to celebrate a machine that embodied the future. Its aerodynamic nose glistening like a jewel, its interior glowing with refined ambient lighting, its mechanical heart whispering of strength and efficiency. And while many trains in the past had simply been machines to move people, this creation was introduced as a living, breathing revolution, each carriage whispering promises of reliability, speed, and unmatched comfort, with wide doors designed for quick boarding, full walk-through interiors so that passengers could feel connected from one end of the train to the other, ergonomic seating crafted for both short and long journeys, air conditioning engineered for the African climate, and passenger information systems that transformed every ride into an effortless experience. And what made this launch so deeply significant was not just the unveiling of a new fleet, but the vision it carried, a vision of South Africa as a global leader in mobility, where sustainability and performance align, because this train consumes up to 20% less energy than its predecessors, utilizing regenerative braking and lightweight materials, ensuring that every journey not only carries citizens forward but also respects the planet that sustains them. And while its exterior design spoke of speed and futuristic ambition, its soul was deeply South African, conceived not just for today's commuters but for future generations who will grow up believing that modern transport should always be beautiful, efficient, and environmentally responsible. And when the Inspiro South Africa glided across its first test bridge, the cameras captured the image of a nation on the move, the city skyline stretching behind it, the sun reflecting off its curved surfaces like a promise of tomorrow. While inside the atmosphere was a revelation, fresh air flowing through climate-controlled cabins, LED lighting adjusting gently to time of day, spacious carriages inviting people of all ages and backgrounds to feel at ease, and each detail, from the digital displays to the soft but durable flooring, was tailored for the everyday passenger who deserves excellence, and the pride was palpable. People who attended the grand unveiling described how they felt goosebumps as the train's front lights shone across the hall, illuminating not just the exhibition but their imagination of what South African mobility could become. And engineers spoke passionately about the technology behind the bogies and suspension that would make every ride smoother, while designers pointed to the wide windows that filled each carriage with natural light, and government representatives declared that this project was more than infrastructure, it was transformation, creating jobs during its assembly, training a new generation of skilled workers, and proving to the world that South Africa can not only adopt world-class technology but also integrate it with local identity and ambition. And the impact stretched further than transport, as city planners envisioned how these new trains would reshape daily life, reducing congestion, cutting travel times, encouraging sustainable travel habits, and creating opportunities for economic growth by connecting communities more efficiently than ever before. And the images of the assembly process itself were iconic, with sparks flying in modern factories as workers welded the body shells, robotic arms piecing together components with precision, and supervisors checking every detail with pride, ensuring that each train rolling out of production met the highest global standards, yet carried the distinct spirit of South Africa, a spirit that values resilience, creativity, and collective progress, and beyond the technical excellence, there was also the emotional weight of symbolism, because for decades public transport had been a struggle, often unreliable, sometimes outdated, and too often ignored as a national priority. But now, standing before the Inspiro South Africa, citizens realized that something had changed forever, that a new standard had been set, that they were no longer looking at imported ideas of transport but at a machine that, although created with global expertise, had been adopted, celebrated, and redefined as part of South African identity. And as the ceremony lights dimmed and the train's doors opened for the first public walkthrough, people stepped inside with wide eyes, touching the smooth walls, sitting in the spacious seats, walking from carriage to carriage with wonder, children laughing as they gazed at the digital screens, elders nodding with satisfaction at the comfort and dignity of the design, and journalists scribbling notes about how this launch was not just a transportation milestone but a cultural event, something that would be remembered for decades. And the sheer length of the train, with its interconnected carriages, gave a sense of unity, as if it symbolized the nation itself, diverse yet connected, modern yet respectful of tradition, fast yet sustainable. And when the demonstration ride began, cameras flashed, passengers clapped, and many spoke of how surreal it felt to witness such progress, because the Inspiro South Africa was not just moving on tracks, it was moving hearts and minds, shifting perspectives about what is possible, and even the mechanical close-ups shown during the exhibition drew admiration, with exposed bogies, suspension systems, and traction motors displayed under bright lights to showcase the hidden engineering beauty, reminding everyone that beneath the sleek body lies a masterpiece of industrial art. And as the assembly footage rolled on large screens, people cheered at the sight of South African workers collaborating in high-tech facilities, proof that this was a national achievement, not just an imported product. And as the months pass and more of these trains enter service, the transformation will ripple across society, because people will save hours of travel time, cities will breathe cleaner air, businesses will flourish around new stations, and a cultural shift will take place where the train is no longer seen as a last resort but as the first choice, because it represents speed, reliability, comfort, and dignity. And in classrooms, young students will look at posters of the Inspiro South Africa and dream of becoming engineers, designers, or conductors, proud to contribute to a future that moves forward on shining rails. And the memory of that first unveiling in the white luxury showroom will remain etched in collective memory, the moment when South Africa stood tall, unveiled its train of tomorrow, and declared to the world that its future rides on steel, powered by innovation, guided by sustainability, and inspired by the unstoppable spirit of its people.